Hello, my lovelies, and welcome back to the secret throne room of the Queen of Constantia. Today, or this evening, I am going to be reviewing the Real Housewives of Gqeberha. So you see, I've been practicing Gqeberha, otherwise known as GQ. I always thought GQ stood for Gentleman's Quarterly, GQ, a rather nice magazine. Anyway, apparently now if you can't say Gqeberha, it's GQ. And I suppose GQ is for the Caucasians, who must have had a hell of a shock when they were told Port Elizabeth was about to become Gqeberha. And a whole lot of them had to stand in front of the mirror for ages practicing, because Schwan is kind of okay, you know, but can you imagine when you got told, if you were a Caucasian and spoke like me, that you were going to have to say Gqeberha for the rest of your life? I'm sure a lot of them, got a hell of a shock. Anyway, it was actually not that bad. Got it right fairly quickly. But right, back to business. The Real Housewives of Gqeberha. What can I say? Smoke and mirrors comes to mind. In fact, I was reminded of a parody that I once saw of Real Housewives on Saturday Night Live. Because there's not a lot real going on. There's a lot of bluster. We get shots of Jeffreys Bay, for instance. Well, Jeffreys Bay is not Gqeberha. And we get shots of vintage cars, like a Rolls, Ash in a Rolls. That doesn't belong to her. A Rolls, in fact, that is the identical model to the one that I own. I was actually kind of hoping that it did belong to her, because it would have given us something in common and we could have had a chat. And right behind it was a Mercedes, same vintage that I own. And I thought, oh, it's nice, but no, turns out it didn't belong to the ladies. Lots of, just a lot of blah. Kind of seemed to be a veneer of sophistication. That was the idea that I was getting from it all. Just a veneer, just a sort of a bluff to take us all in. Is there a place called The Bluff? No, that's in Durban. Anyway, so nothing just felt quite real to me. So we started off, and the first thing that happened was really odd, because we started off with a breakfast show, a radio show taking place. Strange for a TV show to start with a radio show, but okay. But they were doing it to have the introduction to the Windy City and show us all pretty pictures and apparently wake us all for the morning. And then we moved on. This was really strange, onto basically a trailer in advance of what was going to happen in future episodes. So they showed us a whole lot of bits of conflict and drama of what was going to happen in future episodes right at the beginning of the first episode. Now, normally that's what happens at the end of an episode. I haven't seen that happen before. That was weird. Then we had the taglines. Didn't find any of them very inspiring at all. I think they definitely could have put all of their collective heads together and come up with some more spicy taglines. But there you are. They're okay. Not great. Okay. Yellow dresses. Yeah. Okay. Not great. Could have been better. I hated, by the way, my dress in our opening credits. So I'm not dissing you girls because I didn't like mine either. Just just saying. So the first person we get to meet is Bully G. Beautiful lady, may I say. What a beautiful face. Very confident on camera. I think Bully is there as the glue to this show. She's there to hold the group together. That's my idea of her at the moment. Let's see how it goes. But to me, she's definitely there as, you know, they were the queen bee or the grande dame or the whatever. I think that's where she is positioned at the moment. Now, often that can change through the season, but she's certainly come into the show that way. That's where she's positioned right now. I loved her business CV. I loved watching her, seeing her with her singing career. She was in Idols in 2002. Amazing. Had a long career in the media. Has a beautiful speaking voice. Obviously, female empowerment. Lots of emceeing. And then comes this crazy moment. I'm on the telephone to New York to my friend because I can buy a Picasso. Now, come on. Pull the other leg. I'm involved in art collecting, and I just need to tell you something. The last Picasso that was sold was in May 2022, and it was sold for $67.5 million. Dollar, okay? Now, every time a Picasso changes hands in the world, everybody knows. And the one that sold before that was $130.5 million. Yeah? The $67.5 million one was considered to be really inexpensive. Not one single Picasso changes hands without the world knowing about it, darling. So that was a really, really crazy statement to make. I don't know why you made it, because your CV was perfect as it was. And if you had $67.5 million or similar to spend, you wouldn't be on Housewives. You wouldn't be bothering. You would be off sunning yourself in the Maldives or somewhere similar. So once again, hashtag just saying. Right, so why? Anyway, moving on. So then Norma, next person that we met was Norma. Beautiful, beautiful face. Yeah, I think she said something about her face. You know, this is the face you meet. I agree. I like your face too. Absolutely gorgeous, Norma. Then she introduced us to her daughter, who's a gymnast, and can I say, what a talented gymnast. But I was a little concerned because of the amount of projection that I saw Norma putting on her daughter. There's a phenomenon that is known as a stage mother, which is where a mother lives out her dreams through her daughter. It's actually a psychological phenomenon. And Norma even says it. She says, she's living out my dream. And she also says, my daughter is my pension fund. I find that really a bit scary because when you do that, you actually create a burden on your daughter continuing into adulthood. I think children should live out their dreams. I don't think that they should live out their mother's dreams. And I say this because I was the daughter of a stage mother. Yeah, so look, maybe I'm projecting what happened to me onto that situation. But it is a thing, and I just, being pressurized into performing, and mother always there, and mother going, you can do better and you should smile more, and I'm not sure that stretch or that ballet lift or whatever was perfect enough. It's a lot to live up to. So maybe a little slack, but that's just from one mother to another, and maybe I have no right to say this. I probably don't, but anyway, my opinion. Anyway, then we hear an interesting thing. So Norma says that her husband is a Ghanaian prince. And so I went to have a little look about Ghanaian princes. Apparently there are 71 Ghanaian princes. And I'd love to know which one he is. So please tell us, Norma, which prince your lovely husband is. I'd love to know, out of the 71 that are listed in Wikipedia, because they're all there. Be lovely to know. Anyway, then, so Booley, shame, she got retrenched. That's very sad. And apparently Booley got her a job. I don't know if this is the big thing that she does at the stadium with all the events or whatever. What a wonderful friend Booley is. And obviously Norma's really, really good at this job. It looks amazing, and she does amazing events, and all kudos to you, Norma. And then, of course, poor Norma talks about having endometriosis, which is ghastly, and I'm so glad that she had it found out. And the other thing I wanted to say is thank heavens that she had endometriosis later in life. after she'd had children, because if she'd had it earlier, it actually makes it very complicated, if not almost impossible, to have children at all. So blessings and wonderful. I mean, I know it's awful that she's just had it, obviously, but I think she must clearly feel very grateful that she only had it at this later stage in her life and she was able to have her family beforehand. But here's to you, Norma, and I hope you're feeling much better and you've recovered from your surgery completely. And okay, I love this, but Booney said that she was interviewing millionaires with a view to marriage. I thought that was absolutely hilarious. Go for it, Booney. I hope you meet at least 3 so that you've got a nice sort of pool with which to sort of interview and try. You know, not well, one's never good enough. You know, you've got to have a few so that you can sort of compare them and make sure you get the right one. You know, I always say you've got to kiss a lot of frogs before you find a prince. Absolutely. And now we move on to Ash. Yes, the lady who I thought had the Rolls Royce and doesn't. Ash, bubbly, a little bit ditzy, very sweet. And can I just say, I got a little tear in my eye when she spoke about her autistic children, because of course my daughter Rosie is on the autism spectrum, and I know exactly how hard it is, but I also know how incredibly rewarding autistic children are. They are very special. They are neurodivergent. That is what, in fact, the terminology is. And wonderful, wonderful kids. And all kudos to you, Ash. It's challenging, but they're amazing, and you're going to be fine. You will work through it. Ash starts chattering on at this table that they're all sitting on about how she sneaks off to Booley on a Friday night and says to her husband that she's going to go and try and close, but secretly they have quite a few drinks, because obviously they're having a mimosa, and they talk about having kind of the morning after the night before drinks. By the way, it's my non-alcoholic again. Morning after the night before drinks, as the mimosa hangover remedy. And she says, oh yes, you know, because I go off to Booley and I have too much to drink. And sounds a little bit of a clue there. I was just sort of wondering, she seems to have no filter, because she embarrassingly implies that she thinks that Booley's going to be like Oprah and never have any children. And that's kind of, yeah, it's an unfiltered thing to say. And I think Booley's uncomfortable with it, because she says, no, I mean, I'd love to have children. I've never said that. And yeah, I'm just getting a feeling that it might move slightly even beyond the word that I used in the first place, which is ditzy. I'm adding in unfiltered. I'm adding in what she said, that she goes to Booley and has lots of drinks on a Friday night, and then the hangover remedy. And I'm thinking that it reminds me ever so slightly of some other people that I know, and I'm thinking, all right, we've got to keep a watch here. We might have somebody who maybe gets a bit out of hand when they've had too much to drink, who's a little bit unfiltered. It's going to be interesting to see where this goes. She could be a little bit messy. Wondering about that. So, and then we meet Liz. Fabulous, yes. So, small town dating syndrome, Liz. It's big fish, small ponds. Yes, Liz has really quite an impressive building company called LKT Building and Civil Construction, of which she has been the CEO for the last 12 years. And of course, her husband died. My sincere condolences, Liz. Horrible. I mean, you're young. Devastating to lose your husband while you're traveling at a young age. You look like you've got, you know, your what is it? Your finger on the pulse of your business. It looks like, you know, powerful businesswoman. I wrote here, notice how everyone says that they hate fakes. Every single one of these women say, I hate fakes, I hate pretentious people, I'm authentic. It's kind of a Housewives thing. Everybody always says that. And then they always do the complete opposite. It's really, really funny. I'm not even going to excuse myself, okay, from that. But it's just hilarious how what we have these self-belief things about ourselves, you know, that we say, and then it's just amazing. So Liz says, I hate pretentiousness and I hate fakes. We're going to see how much these women really hate pretentiousness and they hate fakes as things go on, because I'm already seeing pretension and fakery, and it's only episode 1, which is what I just said at the beginning. I mean, I'm seeing almost like a parody going on here. So I will say, so far, Liz has the nicest house. We haven't really got much of a peep into anybody else's. We've got a little bit of a peep into Booley's, what looks like an Edwardian house. Does look very lovely. I'm not sure how spacious, I'll put my teeth back in. I'm not sure how spacious it is, but it certainly looks characterful. We haven't really got an idea of what anybody drives yet. You know, it's kind of a housewife thing. What do you drive? I think, it's Unati who says, I think that her prince gave her a Mini Cooper with chrome wheels and a number plate, a personalized number plate. Yeah, not the fanciest in the world, but she said she got one. We haven't seen it yet. And then I just wanted to ask, does Liz do a lot of shouting? Because she appears to have lost her voice most of the time. I don't know. Maybe she just talks like that. Or maybe she shouts a lot. I don't know. Maybe it's all the noise on the building sites, you know, just constantly bellowing over all that machinery. Could be. Let's see. Anyway, and now we meet Unati. Now, and we've got another one. I'm very competitive when it comes to my kids. Okay, word to the wise, love. Don't put your kids in competition with other people's kids. Just let them be. Anyway, this is none of my business. It's your family. But anyway, you know, it just makes me sad. You know, when I think about kids being in competition with other kids because their mums are doing it to them, I just get sad about it. As I said, none of my business. So, Unati, you are amazingly fit, and I saw you there and you're doing all these things. You got the women out on the field, and I'm thinking, you know what you could do, Angel? Do a fitness app. You'd be brilliant. Imagine you like actually doing exercise classes online, and women log on and they watch you and they actually exercise with you. You'd be fabulous. I mean, you're doing your beauty and you're doing your nails. You could make a fortune with a fitness app. Anyway, kudos to you. Great body. But one thing that comes across for me is that Unati is like really defined by her marriage, not by who she is. It's like, I'm the first lady, my husband. Here is a fun fact though, or an interesting fact about Unati's husband. Even though she's defined by her marriage, she didn't tell us some really interesting things about her husband. So her husband wrote his matric in 1978 while incarcerated for 13 years on Robben Island. Wow. And when he got out, he became what was then Port Elizabeth's first ever black mayor. And not only that, he was responsible for inviting Queen Elizabeth to come and visit her then namesake town, Port Elizabeth, when she came over on her state visit to South Africa, the last time that she came before she died. Amazing fact. So hats off to him. What an amazing guy. And Unati, yes, you do have an amazing husband, but you don't have to be defined by your husband or your relationship with him, because you're an amazing woman. Go launch that fitness app. Yeah. Okay, now moving on. Okay, so then we get to Booley's event. Okay, I am sorry, I'm just gonna have a little sip. I honestly felt that I was, when it was being set up, so now there's a chef and there's a room and there's a table and whatever, and I'm thinking, I think I'm at Groundhog Day at Mariam's party at Real Housewives of Lagos. Because the chef, the hired-in chef, and the kind of the layout, and apart from the fact that there are pictures of bully all over the wall, which, by the way, can I say, the other ladies needn't have been so nasty about, because it's damn well her 20 years in the industry, even, and she wants to slather pictures all over the wall of herself, she can. But Groundhog Day was, the event itself was like a replica Groundhog Day of Miriam's party on Real Housewives of Lagos. It just, like, the vibe was identical. Okay, so, okay, then the next thing is, we then, every lady has to tell us about what she's wearing and why she's wearing it before she gets there. Why? Just turn up. We don't need to know the history of your outfit. It's not necessary, you know? Not necessary. I really don't know. And, okay, if you were wearing Dior, Chanel, Louis Vuitton, whatever, I might be interested. But I don't need to know what color you're wearing and if it sparkled. Darling, I'm not interested. So, okay, so anyway, moving on. Oh, but except there was one hilarious thing about what you're wearing, and that's when Liz said that Ash clearly got her outfit from Cotton On. That was funny. In fact, that was the only bit of shade in the whole evening that I found funny. The only bit. So then Liz has some drama about the seating. And all I can think there is that she's just doing it for the sake of drama because she's on Housewives, so she has to do it because she has to create drama. There's no other reason. No other earthly reason. So then next, the other thing I have to say, I sincerely think that Ashley started the party at home. I think she might have had a couple of glasses of bubbly while she was doing her makeup, because that girl was clearly swaying on her feet by the time the food arrived. I mean, there's no two ways about it. Either that or she was having some very heavy cough mixture. And then, blow me down, a Chippendale arrives. With Durban, last week, we had 2 Chippendales. This week, we have another one. I thought the Chippendales went out with the 90s. I'm getting bored. I don't want any more Chippendales. I don't need men without their shirts on. Really. Especially if I have to pay for them. No. So I'm hoping we won't have any more Chippendales. So, and then, oh my Lord, Ash is up. And she doesn't get down. I'm now going to seriously look at my notes because I timed it right. So from 36 minutes 10 in the episode until 42 minutes 51 seconds in the episode, Ash stood up and chirped. I'm going to leave you to do the maths, but basically that's a long time. What is it? It's 4 minutes off 10, 6 solid minutes. Just nearly 7 solid minutes, with a couple of little short interludes where they just had the ladies saying things. So let's take off a minute for other people saying things. She stood up and she spoke for 6 solid minutes. A monologue, that's what it's called. A monologue. It was very, very boring. And it was obvious that she was 3 sheets to the wind. For anyone who doesn't know what 3 sheets to the wind is, which I suppose is actually, what's the word I used the other day? I've just talked down to people who do know what 3 sheets to the wind is. I'm patronizing. I'm sounding patronizing. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to be patronizing, but she was under the weather. She'd had too much to drink. It was obvious. So she goes off on this monologue that is exactly the same thing that she told us at the beginning about her exotic children, about her mixed multicultural marriage, about her husband being a master chef, blah, 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 blah. And then having does that, she tells us all about how wonderful Boelie is, and then she cries, which in Afrikaans is called dronk verdriet. Oh, why did they let her carry on? You ladies need to start standing up for yourselves. Stop her. Stop her. Stop her. Anyway, as I said, the girls should have stop her. Oh, and then she confirms herself that she's had too much because she says, I don't eat when I drink. Which is, I mean, it's a classic thing. I know myself. When I did drink and I had too much to drink, I never ate. I never was interested in food. So that's absolute clear marker for me. So now we need to keep a watch on this lady because it might be that she has a little bit of a problem with this, except the one that's got the alcohol in it. Right, then. So now Asha's done her, oh, Bully, I love you so much. And you're so proud. Oh. And anyway, she sits down after the 6-minute monologue, and then Liz says, well, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I always thought you were a bitch. Wow. Okay, well, she certainly didn't. Again, I'm thinking, you know what? You've been told to create drama on Housewives, and that's just what you're going to do. And then somebody says, oh, you guys just dated the same guy, and somebody mentioned somebody called Clifford. So I went and did a little bit of research, and I think I know who it is. I think his name is Clifford Ngakani. Clifford Ngakani. I read a report, I think it was in the Herald, and it said that Liz arrived with Clifford Ngakani. I think there can only be one Clifford, don't you? And Liz arrived looking gorgeous with Clifford Ngakani. So I'm assuming that must be who they both dated. Let's see. Somebody confirm in the comments if you know. Please confirm. And if I'm wrong, tell me I'm wrong. And then Unati says in her speech that she didn't like Booty because she thought Booty was flirting with her husband. And then I love Booty's comment. She comes back and said, oh no, I really wanted you to be my bestie friend because you know all the most fabulous gay boys. Unati didn't respond to that. Does Unati know all the most fabulous gay boys? I'm dying to find out. Will we find out next week? I don't know. All I want to say now at the end of this is the shade in the confessionals of this show was amateur hour shade. It really, really was, okay? Girls, up your game. Number one. Trying too hard. The whole thing was trying too hard. And while I watched it, for most of the time, I felt that I was in a parallel universe. So, there's my report. It's a bit harsh, isn't it? Let's see what happens next week. Hopefully things will pick up. And, okay, and on a last note, I don't think Liz and Unati know Booty very well. I don't think they like her very much. We'll see if they actually join in. But, yeah. Smoke and mirrors, friends. Let's see if the mist clears. Let's see if the smoke clears. Let's see if the mirrors move apart. And let's see if something's going to come out of this. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being with me. Please hit the subscribe button, smash the like, and hit the little bell if you wanted to be reminded when I put up my next reviews. Lots and lots of love.